Welcome back to Underrated Movies. I'm your guy, I'm your man, Mr. Alton Henry. Today, I'm going to talk to you about another underrated film. I think it's underrated. It's a movie that's currently in theaters right now playing. And I'm assuming it's probably limited release, maybe. I could see that this will be a film that's probably going to get slept on in theaters, and it's unfortunate. I would really encourage audiences, especially if you're looking for a kind of it's a neat action film. It's a unique, I would say, throwback to high concept sci-fi films, but done on a lower budget. Where I feel like it's a film kind of, I would say it was kind of common in the early 2000s, so on. I would say Hypnotic, Robert Rodriguez's sci-fi action film starring Ben Affleck, Elisa Bargera, or Braga? Is it Braga or Bargera? My apologies. And it's a story about a police detective who is very overcome with grief of losing his daughter, and he is tracking down a man who supposedly can hypnotize people into doing things of how he wishes. So Ben Affleck's character teams up with another hypnotic kind of person who tries to help him capture him. Basically, like a chasing movie, kind of like that. And I'm gonna tell you what I really think about this film. I think this film is great. For one, I think this film is a throwback to those sci-fi, somewhat high concept chase movies, kind of similar to like Minority Report, kind of like Tenet, but more dating back to the early 2000s. You have a strong male lead, Ben Affleck, whom I thought he was pretty good in here. I think there were moments in there where I felt like he kind of pulled a half-ass, but I think here he was kind of really selling that tough cop who is just overcome with grief and trying to just really get through the day of dealing with his own personal demons. And he plays the cop who lost his daughter, who meets this woman after this unique action heist sequence. Is actually kind of unique. It felt like a very, I would say, very smartly staged out like heist action sequence, which felt kind of it felt really interesting. It's not your standard typical action film. I mean, there's really just mostly just chase scenes in this. But what I really loved about this film is the concept. I love the concept of this movie. I think maybe better handled with directors who dealt with high concept sci-fi action movies would probably executed this film a little bit better. But I thought this film, especially the more it went on, I thought the film, this is what I really loved respect about this film, is that they didn't force any like humor or anything. Nothing in this film felt forced. And that's what I really liked about it. It felt like it was Robert Rodriguez was trying to really experiment with a genre and did his own thing with it and trying to pay tribute to a certain kind of, I would say, kind of movie trend that we don't normally see anymore, but doing it his way. And I really love the script with this. I feel like the script was very, even though it was kind of exposition and it sucked out character development a bit, but it gave you enough to kind of get you invested in the story. Nothing in this film felt like it did not drag. It felt like it was constantly kind of going through it and kept you engaged. Most specifically with the story. There's so many little hints here and there that the story kind of gives you to constantly keep being invested in. You are invested until the very end. At least for me, I felt I was really, 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 really into what was going to happen and how this film was going to resolve itself. And the way it resolves itself is a way I did not expect. It does have like that, well, I don't know. Like I don't know if I should really give out any details um how this film unravels itself. There's more to it when when it unravels. It's like a mystery, and and that's what I really liked about this film. I like there's a mystery element where you're not fed everything, but it slowly reveals itself, kind of like Shutter Island, but more into an action film, a sci-fi action. And yeah, when say that, it does kind of give you a big twist moment, which I won't reveal, that happens toward the end of the film, and it literally took me by surprise, but I felt like it made sense for what they were pulling off, and I thought the way they unravel that twist ending made sense. Sometimes when twist endings get unravel, sometimes or sometimes when they reveal, sometimes I think it becomes a little bit too far fetched, or it just feels like it's just utterly ridiculous. But it felt like it had a purpose when that twist came about, and I think they addressed it a little, and I thought they addressed it well. I thought, for at least for me, I wish I had a little bit more depth with character. And maybe again, maybe if this film was more into the helm of, let's say, Christopher Nolan, Duncan James or Jones, Ryan Johnson, I felt like this film would have been a little bit more executed with more uniqueness. I'm not saying the film is bad. I really enjoyed it. But it's a film where it's a risky sci-fi action film that we don't normally get to see nowadays. And it's one that I think I would say I would respect Robert Rodriguez for doing something completely different and something. I mean, I think this might be his third sci-fi like feature film, excluding the Mandalorian directed episodes he's did with Book of Boba Fett. I think here he's really trying to go experimental with his craft, and I really was that an ad that just popped up on Tubi? Anyway, I really love that he really did do something very different with his style. This film is currently in theaters right now. I don't think it's making a lot of money. It's from a new production company called Catch Up Entertainment. Hey, keep on fishing out original ideas, man. Robert Rodriguez, you have my support. Please check it out. Hypnotic. Let me know in the comment section if you have seen it, and let me know what is your favorite underrated movie.